anything other.
Okay, so we are going to learn a camera. So what is the field of view? A camera renders a scene, right? It has a certain area through which it can render, right? Let's say we have installed a camera here, right? Beyond this wall, let's say this is a wall, camera cannot see, right? And behind the camera, it also cannot see. So that concept is a camera has a field of view. So what field of view do you want to define for camera, right? Far means how far you want to put the camera, right? Field of view is basically not distance but angle, right? How the angle is defined, let's say this is a phone, right? This theta is the field of view. Okay? So camera is projected like this. This is field of view. Far means how far you want to render the scene. Beyond that, even if you have put some objects, let's say your camera is only able to render till the 10 units in z-axis, right? You have put an object at 11 position. It won't be able to render it. Because whatever you are seeing on the screen, you are able to see it using the camera, right? That is called font. Simply look controls means simple look controls. You can look at the objects. WASD control means you can move ahead, back. WASD, right? Ahead, back, sidewards, backwards in the scene. Near, you understood? Near, far, right? User height, I'll come back to it. Okay. So you understand the basic principles of camera, how it renders the scene. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next parameter. So we have a circle. Would you like me to open it? Okay. So these are all the primitives, right? A circle, understood? It might have properties like radius, right? Or some other properties of circle. Just open that list of primitives. Okay, no need to open. So a collider model is something like collider is a protocol, right? So let's say you have HTML. HTML is a protocol, right? So you create a file in HTML. Same with that. You create a collider model in some 3D rendering, 3D modeling tools, right? So you can also include collider models, right? If you create it in Blender or some other software. A cone, understood? Cone shape. It has its own properties. Now we'll go through some other entities also, like a curved image. Whatever the image that you see, it is straight, right? Curved means you curve the outer parts of the image, right? Or maybe inner parts, whatever you want to do, just curve the image. A cursor. Now, let's say you have put on a VR device, okay? You don't have a remote control. We are talking about simple VR devices, right? How do you know if, let's say, user wants, let's say you are playing a game, right? You are killing the enemy. How do you know that you have to see the enemy, like throw maybe a, like let's say fire a gun and kill it? How do you do that? Because you are not using any game controls, right? There is nothing. So there is this concept in A-frame called eye gazing. It's not in A-frame, it's like in virtual reality. So what you do is you gaze at a particular point for some seconds. Like that is in your hand. So what happens if you gaze at that particular point for let's say 2 seconds, then it behaves as if it has clipped that area, right? So how does this happen? There is a raycaster line, raycaster. It's called raycaster, which intersects the objects. So let's say we have a camera here. You're aboard the VR device. The raycaster will go from here to the object that you are gazing. So raycaster is a line. Let's say there is an object here. If you gaze it enough for 2 seconds, the raycaster will determine which object has been. Based on that, it will do something. Are you to the center? No, you can see maybe object, but it's like where the object is. So because like VR device has a lot of orientation, depth, everything. Which object is being intersected. That's how you know. So the direction, look at it for 2 seconds, maybe milliseconds, right? Games happen in very short time, these things. So if you look at it and gaze at it for a particular amount of time, something will happen. And that logic is written in the games, right? Okay. So a cursor is basically a cursor which is rendered at the center of your screen, right? And we then add some properties to the cursor, right? Like let's say we have defined the time to be 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, a click event will be fired, right? So let's say you want to reduce the size, the scale of the cube from 2 to 1. How do you do that in A-frame? Let's say I've rendered a scene, right? There is a cube 2x size. I want to reduce it to 1x. What will happen? I'll render the A cursor, okay? Gaze at the cube for 2 seconds, then write some code, right? What happens? If I gaze at that cube for 2 seconds, a click event will be fired. I'll listen to that click event in my code and maybe reduce the size of the cube to 1x. So basic system works in virtual reality. Because in those untethered devices, we don't have any game pads or controls, right? So how do you play a game in your phone without the controls? That's how we play it. Just focus on the object and do something based on the gameplay. A image is nothing, simple, render an image. Dodecahedron is a shape polygon, right? Cylinder. A light. So there are multiple lights in A-frame, right? So we'll talk about lights. There is a point light. Point is like, let's say, point in the space. It reflects the light in every direction. It's like a sphere. Light up the whole scene in every direction. There is an ambient light. What is an ambient light? Ambient is like when you go to a restaurant, you say ambience is really good, right? Even if you don't know the source of the light, it has lightened up the whole environment. So ambient light is like all the objects are lighted up, right? There is a directional light. What is a directional light? We can take an example of a sun, right? It is a very far object, and that's why the light ray seems to be parallel, isn't it? So directional light is something which says it is coming from a very far source, right? And all the rays are parallel. A torus knot, it is also a shape. Tetrahedron, right? A OBJ model, you can import a model OBJ file, right? Octahedron is a polygon. A plane is basically a simple plane, right? A ring shape also. Now, what is A sky? It's like a background image, right? But it is rendered in 360 degrees, right? So what you can do is you can create let's say you take a 360 degree image, right? And put it in A sky. What it will do, it will make the whole scene from that image. right? You can also put some objects inside it, but there will be a sphere kind of thing, right? Which renders your whole image inside it. A sound, as Yoni explained the importance of audio in virtual reality scenes. A sound is basically used for implementing a sound in your scene. A sphere, a tetrahedron, a video. Yeah. So you can also embed a 360-degree video inside your scene. So just take a URL from YouTube, try to implement it in your scene. A video sphere, the same video can be rendered as a sphere. Right? So that's how these works. Now I would like to ask you to create scenes of your own. Think of some idea, try to create. Go through these shapes, whatever you like. Maybe you want to put a light inside it. You want to put an image, video, do something, right? Think of a theme, what you want to create, and even if you are not able to create it, the whole scene, just try to achieve that goal. Go from basic things, right? And anything else? So
I will show them those examples. We are running.
Okay. So I would like to show some examples and show you the code how they're done.
What kind of files are supported by OBJ model?
OBJ model is itself .obj file. So OBJ model renders the OBJ file. Now that OBJ file is nothing but a 3D model created in Blender or something, some other 3D modeling software. So you can export your model in multiple formats, right? Collada, OBJ, there are a lot of formats. So if for every format there is a different primitive. So after these examples, I'll also go through components, right? Some basic components which you can use, and components created by the community. Go to that Google logo colors animation.
Yes.
Increase the space.
So what do we find out? अभी केवल ये बता दो कुछ अभी केवल ये बता दो फिर कैमरा इंट्रोड्यूसर हो जाएगा क्लिक वाला होगा उस टाइम पे वो दूसरा वाला एग्जांपल बता देंगे
Okay, so
How is this? How difficult is this?
do you think it's difficult?
How many lines of code do you think it will take?
Four. Very pessimistic.
This animation we have been process there are 8 lines.
Four.
Only one. 4
यार हम दो तीन को ज्यादा सिंपल ले गए तुम लोगों ने
नहीं force
There is
होता है,
a force
animation
there.
है, एक direction से दूसरी direction.
See, so this is like creating a logo, right? You saw some logo on some website and you thought, I want to create it. That's it. I saw this on someone's Mac PC and he asked, like this, the same moment he asked, can it be made in April? I created it in 5 minutes. What is the thought process? Very simple. Just look at the logo. What is happening? Now, what you need to do is look at a particular object and its movement. Don't look at the entire scene. Whenever you are creating an A-frame scene, look at a single object, what it is doing. Maybe it is moving from one place to another. Maybe it is scaling. Maybe it is rotating. Right? So what is this scene do? Just focus on the red part, the red sphere. It is moving from that point to that point. I don't have to think about the whole scene as a whole. Just focus on the red ball. And then focus on green and then yellow.
Wanted to show that or not?
Right. Yeah,
Yes, no, yes, no.
Okay. So, how many of you know about templating engines? It's a difficult word still. Templating engines. How many of you use PHP? Okay. Can you use a for loop in PHP? What?
Yes.
For loop?
Yes. For loop.
Yes. So can you add HTML elements with for loop? Have you tried to do that? Let's say you want to add 4 divisions.
Yes.
You don't write the 4 divisions like that. You create a for loop and add the divisions. Have you used JSP, anyone? Java Server Pages? You do the same thing. There is this. There are a lot of templating engines available in the market. Jade, Nunchucks, Moustache, Handlebars, lots. So you choose your preference, right? And what happens? These are 4 spheres, right? They are absolutely same. Just their from and to are different, right? Their size is same. Maybe their color is different, and the point from their starting to where they are moving, that is different. So what you do, I'm talking in terms of code. If you want to reduce these 8 lines, maybe 12 lines to just 3, write a for loop in your favorite templating engine, but that needs to be supported by you, right? Some component needs to be there. So what happens? Compile it. Okay, so you create some arrays, right? Arrays of positions, arrays of colors. You apply that to your template. When it is rendered, there will be 12 lines of code, right? But what you see in the code, just 3 lines. Okay, so we'll show you this kind of technique later. Simple. Let's show the code first. Every entity primitive is fair, right? Are you able to see it?
I don't think they really have to see it. Maybe they will just get into the idea.
Okay, it's simple. Basically, from and to, you just learned.
Yes.
You can also put the duration of the animation, right? Direction is alternate, means go from to from again, right? And repeat indefinite. So you were asking about how to make things like it was starting from one point and coming to back. So there's this property called easing. So when you put the easing to linear, what will happen? That will move linearly, that object. It won't stop at a particular point. We'll see those animations. So this is the first inspiration to create something. Think of some logo. Maybe think of some basic optical illusion. It's very difficult, but we'll go through, let's say, mathematical symbols maybe. They are moving up and down, doing something. It should look good. What Yoni was telling, you heard him? Yeah. Use basic primitive things, but try to tell a story through them. Just think of something, basic primitives. Like you have seen these kind of logos, isn't it? A lot of logos are like, some objects are moving, coming in there. Just try it. Should we go for component right now, or maybe ask them to create something?
First create something.
Create something of your own.
So it will be live soon.
Huh? Okay, so we'll come back in some time. Goodbye till then.